Hey, have you ever wondered how the top Enagic leadership built their business? And what strategies they're using that are producing the greatest results in 2020? Well, in today's episode, we have top Enagic distributor, Wade T Lightheart, a 6A4-3, going to be interviewing me, a 6A4-2, to talk all Enagic related. We're going to deep dive into figuring out how Enagic, after 45 years, is coming off some of their best financial months ever this summer. As the world has gone through a crisis both on the health and financial side in 2020, it's really created the perfect storm of opportunity for motivated Enagic distributors and motivated entrepreneurs to really seize the reins of a business opportunity that's unlike anything else in the network marketing and home-based business arena. If you're new to the channel and looking to maximize your Enagic Kangen Water experience, either as a distributor or a customer, or potentially you're here to check out to see if this opportunity is a good fit for you, I recommend subscribing to the channel and hit the bell notification as I release a new video every week to serve you. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and drop a comment below to say hello. I'd love to hear your feedback on the interview. That really helps me and the channel to grow. So, without further ado, let's jump into the interview.
All right, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wade T Lightheart from the Prosperity and Health Alliance. We're here live and large for another action-packed Monday night. Come here each and every week. We do this thing because we want to help you help yourself by building a fantastic, super awesome business. I would say a pandemic-proof business. That's what we're looking at doing. And tonight we have a very special guest because right now, one of my business partners, we've been working together on this project now for 10 years. That's 10 years. And during that 10 years, we've had all sorts of extraordinary experiences. We help thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world both transform their health and their finances, as well as making a positive impact from an environmental standpoint. But what's really cool is during all this craziness that's happened, this has been the best quarter in years in Enagic. And our special guest tonight is going to be able to share some of the things that he's been able to do during this. And I'm going to see if I can get his video up here.
There we go.
And thank you. So for those who don't know Krill Hutchinson, he's been with us for 10 years. He's built an extraordinary business. He's been able to travel the world, live in different places. He's gone through ups. He's gone through downs. He's gone through old school Enagic and he's on new school Enagic. And today I would like to say, hey man, how's it going?
It's going great. It's awesome to be on the show. Thanks, Wade. How are you doing?
Fabulous. Of course, what's really interesting is, the beauty of Zoom, which we've been using for years, but it seems like everybody has just discovered this during the pandemic crisis. Is like, wow, you can actually run your business from home. And let's talk about what you've been doing because, your home has moved a bunch of times. You've been in Vancouver, you've been in Mexico, you've kind of been in all different types of places. And now you're over on Salt Spring Island, right?
Yeah. Well, a couple of years ago, I'd say going back 3 years, I made a decision in my business that I really wanted to figure out how to run an online business that allowed me to have real location freedom. Because for years, we built a traditional network marketing business doing events, presentations, demos, sharing the water, all that stuff. And it worked fantastic. We were able to grow a great team that developed overseas and so forth. But a few years ago, because we have a place in Mexico, my wife, Kristen, and I were also thinking about uprooting from Vancouver, and we wanted to kind of try out couple different places. So we really saw that, hey, I want to be able to run an online business. And I had also been seeing people be very successful in doing the same. So I had to, learn some new skills, go check out some stuff, go find some new mentors and learn this process. And I started to slowly implement that And it's really taken off this year. And I think also, the reality is with what's been going on the last 3 or 4 months, and we all know what's been going on, it's really pushed a lot of people into a virtual reality, virtual communications, virtual commerce. And I'm so glad that I had kind of prepped myself for that, because I felt like I was in a really great position to take advantage of it. My wife and I have been moving around. We've been speed dating a bunch of locations, because we're looking for like, where's going to be the next place that we can kind of root in. So, if we had a traditional business that was rooted in one place, there's no way we could have been able to do this. And the pandemic hit. Life continued for us. Not really much has changed, just the location where we were doing it. And I'm happy to report it's been an awesome last quarter. Was great for the company, but also really great for our business. So I come to you live from Salt Spring Island today in a small little cabin. My friends bought a beautiful farm out here. They asked us if they'd like to move into the small cabin. We jumped at it. So we're living our version of the dream. We're surrounded with goats, chickens, a beautiful organic garden. I just got back from the beach, which is a 5-minute drive away. And we're running an online business with great Wi-Fi. So that's the short end summary of where we are today. Or you're muted on your side.
For those of you who don't know, I've been in the online business space since literally 2004. And one of the things that I love, and I've been involved with Enagic since 2007. And they have been traditionally different models. So the online version was using things like paid advertising, whether that was Google AdWords, Facebook, affiliate marketing, these type of things, which my company, other company by Optimizers, has been very well versed in. We have a massive team, we have a massive budget, we have massive expenses, and we have massive expertise. And that is a whole going concern. And fortunately, I'm a business partner with Matt Gallant, who is a serial entrepreneur and has the capabilities, the strategy, and all that sort of stuff. And that's allowed me to live an awesome lifestyle. I got the water machine in 2007. There was a big downturn in the economy. If you guys remember, 07, 08, there was a massive wipeout. I loved the product. I loved what I was doing. And my online business had taken a flat spot during that kind of chaotic time. And I ended up getting involved in the water business. And then the water business really exploded for the same reasons that I think are happening today. Now, what's interesting is over the course of the 10 years, there was the development of social media communities. There's development of YouTube and Facebook Live, and basically all the things that you had to spend tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to create your own broadcast studio, your own distribution component, your own community, your groups and stuff. We used to have boards and, have web programs and all these sort of things that used to have have been created for us today. And I think one of the unique things that you've been able to do, Kreel, is you've been able to take all these kind of quote unquote corporate technologies that have been built, instead of using them as just a consumer, someone that just watches what's on Facebook or watches what's on, Instagram or whatever it happens to be. You've actually curated that into a very unique community that leverages many of the things that we started out in the direct response, where there's meet and greets, meetings, and demonstrations, which we did in physical person. You've been able to actually create that along with a systematized system that actually you don't actually have to pay for marketing, and you don't have to pay for advertising, and you don't have to pay for these things. There are strategic things that you can leverage today that allows you to grow your community in a digital way with a physical product and a distribution network that Enagic has around the world. Can you share a little bit about what you're doing and how that's been working for you and why that's been so powerful and why so many people are getting excited about it?
100%. Well, where I am today has kind of come, as you had mentioned, as a result of trying out a bunch of different things, and I guess I wish I was smarter and I could learn from other people's mistakes, but generally we like to learn from our own mistakes. So going through that process, when I jumped into more attracting and really focusing on doing stuff online, I went into the paid advertisement arena, which is, as you just mentioned, because you have a great all-star team, it is complicated, it's competitive, and it's expensive learning curve. And most people just aren't going to make it in today's small entrepreneur startups. And if people that have, that's fantastic. But for most people, it's just not really going to be duplicatable. It wasn't for us and a bunch of our leaders. So what I saw was there is a trend. And this is the trend, and it goes through all businesses. People need to know, like, and trust you before they want to do business with you, either in the form of purchase or even becoming a business partner. Now, traditionally, that would be done with meet and greets, face-to-face, and so forth. Well, in the last few years, social media has really become the handshake. And from the handshake, you have an opportunity to then continue to build a relationship. Now, a lot of people, and I was in this category. At one point, I was just really not wanting to spend that much time online in a digital space. I really kind of got more inspired with traditional meeting people, and just that was the life I had kind of grown up. But I realized there is actually the same community building that's required and possible whenever you do it online. So what we've really focused on the last few years, and in particularly the last 7 months of 2020, is something called attraction marketing. And it's really about branding yourself. You know, there's no one going to tell your story better than yourself. And the reality is, people, you know, we represent Enagic and the Kangen Water. People aren't buying Kangen water systems. They're buying Wade, they're buying Kreel, they're buying their sponsor first, someone that they know, like, and trust, who at that point can guide them to our services and products that will make a positive, you know, impact into their life. But people don't wake up, you know, looking to buy a water system. They look up and they look to connect with people. So in branding yourself, and you can do this all through free social media strategies, you know, Facebook, Instagram being awesome platforms, Twitter, so forth. I don't really use it. I really like more the this platform, Facebook, where you can grow your own market to, right? Which is about developing friends and expanding your network and being consistent in your content, which is you basically just explaining who you are, what you believe in, what your values are. And I tell you folks, in today's world, there's going to be a percentage of people that absolutely jive with who you are. Whether you're quirky, whether you're quiet, whether you believe in blue, whether you believe in red, whether you believe whatever you believe. If you take a stand and present that and kind of document your life, be willing to be vulnerable and put yourself out there, there's going to be a group of people that are going to put up their hands and say, I dig what this guy's up to. And that's really about the branding yourself, and then attracting people to you, being consistent in your content, and really about educating people, inspiring people. And so, Wade, you know, to shorten that down, we've been able to brand myself, do that online, so people kind of know, like, and trust. And we invite them into our community. We invite them to learn more. And I branded a community called the Living Legacy Project, where we've taken, you know, and I've shown my business partners to brand yourself, to use these free social media attraction marketing strategies, tactics. And when people are interested, we want to put them inside a community, because people need to know, like, and trust you. They need to be familiar with you. And the day of, like, sending someone an email and expecting them to watch, you know, 45 minutes worth of stuff and get back to you and all that stuff, people rarely do that. Whereas if you put them inside a community, they can kind of self-educate. They get to see the social proof. They get to see that there's other people involved. And at the end of the day, people really want to be connected to something that's bigger than themselves, right? To know that they're getting involved with something that has depth, which has leaders, which has commitment, which has a community, which has a vision, a mission, you know, part of something that's bigger than just purchasing a one-time product. And so what we've done is really use social media, and Facebook loves this. They absolutely reward you in the algorithm, and we can talk a little bit more about all that later. They love to reward people that are willing to build community on the platform by showing your content to more of those people. So I think that's really been a key of the groups that are doing really well online, are realizing that social media is the handshake. And you got to be consistent in building the content. When people are interested, you invite them into a community where you can warm them up. It's kind of like it's a meet and greet in a virtual sense. And the people start to see you over days, weeks, months, and then they actually feel like they know you. All right. And when people start to know you, then other relationships such as business or deeper friendships can all start to unfold. So that's really, I think, been the key, like building those online communities.
One of the really neat things is, of course, we essentially met through a mutual friend and developed a deep friendship through our business career. You said something that I think was really impactful, and that is taking a stand for something. In today's world of cancel culture and politicization of everything, how have you been able to navigate that environment? There's an old adage in marketing that if you try to appeal to everybody, you'll appeal to no one. And I think a lot of people are scared to take a stand because they're worried of being rejected or projected on because of what someone else's perceives. How do you navigate that in today's, hyper vigilant and, hyper offended? Everybody's offended and outraged about something. How do you do that on social media? And what do you think is the aspect that's allowed you to start growing this community so quickly under these conditions?
Great question. I made it a conscious decision, at the beginning of 2020 that I was going to turn social media into business media. And I was going to get professional with how I approached the platform, right? So I'm not there to just hang out and pass time. When I want to do that, I'm going to go do that in real time with my friends and family, hang out with my wife, do travel, so forth. But when I'm online and on social media, I want to show up in a business sense. I want to engage and have entertainment and create value for people. So first off, I think it's really important to figure out why you're on the platform. And when you're clear with why you're on the platform, then you can have your actions deliver from there. So some people are on the platform to have conflict. Some people are on the platform to have entertainment. Other people are on the platform for entrepreneurship ideas. Other people just want to check out and get some news, whatever that might be. So, getting clear where you're coming from on it. And then for me, and one of my good mentors in this really suggested, hey, you got to stand for something so that there's tension and resistance. And if you don't have enough haters, you're probably not going to do all that well on social media, because you need to give people a reason why they're going to be with you, right? If you're lukewarm, nobody goes with lukewarm. They either love you or hate you. The people that love you, they're going to be on your team. They're going to be your cheerleaders. They're going to be your business. They're going to be the ones that say, hey, I like this guy. I'm going to be, a follower of this person, even more so a friend of them. So I think it's important to take a stance. For me, I've also realized that Facebook is not a place for, I would say, constructive intellectual sharing of ideas so that we can form new ideas. It's really so insular when you get the algorithm just showing you more of the same stuff. And then, you start to get into debates, and it's miscommunication because we're doing little comments back and forth. So what I've tended, the stance that I've taken, which I'm really clear on, is I think the world right now is built for entrepreneurship. And if you are working a corporate or 9-to-5 job or relying on the security of that economic model, I think you're going to be in real trouble. Now, people who are working 9-to-5 or in the corporate world may not like that idea. And so they push back on that. Other people who kind of have that sense, or entrepreneurs, are realizing, you know what, I think you're right. And so that's one of the major topics that I like to cover. Is that, hey, you guys, time to wake up, time to get additional income streams happening in your life. Don't wait for the other foot in this economy to fall, which could happen this fall. And I'd be really cautious. It doesn't look very good long term. So that's the stance that I've taken, which is uncomfortable for people because it really threatens a lot of people's emotional security. Do I get some backlash on that? Absolutely. But I also believe my mentor, because if you don't get the haters out there, you're probably not taking a strong enough stance, and you're definitely not telling enough people about it.
With record levels of uncertainty, record levels of layoffs, and businesses closing today, I think looking backwards, one of the reasons why I think I was able to leverage so much success in that 07, 08, 09 area is because there was a big wipeout in the economy. There was a lot of uncertainty back there. There was what I call premiumly talented people that were either buried in a corporate culture or in a dying or very complicated industry that was getting shook out, that then got attracted to the Enagic business. What are some of the things that you're doing in social media to attract the kind of talent that has been coming into your business lately? Like people who you would never imagine enter into this business are coming into this. What is the consistent actions that you need to do to create this kind of community attractive marketing?
Awesome. Great question. I think number one, guys, if you're whatever business you're in, whatever you do, you got to plant the flag and be committed to it. The moment you're wavering, everybody smells that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, hey, you might not be here once the sale goes through. So first and foremost, you got to really commit in. It's like you got to burn the ship so that you know there's no other escape route, right? Like this, you got to make this work. When you have that level of confidence and commitment to it, that's very attractive to other people because other people are looking to lock arms with people that are committed. The last thing people want to do is join someone and all of a sudden this person disappears, which happens all the time in this industry. So first and foremost, be committed to the project that you're in. I'm 100% committed to Enagic. It's my 10-year anniversary, November 1st. I'm super excited. You know, we're moving towards the top rank in the company. And I'm so excited for the next 10 years, right? So that's number one. Also, I really feel like there's got to be a leveling up, right? Because the world has changed. I got involved in 2010 when, as Wade just mentioned, you know, that background. And I think we're heading into a very similar background. In order for you to take advantage of the talent pool that's entering into the unemployment market and that are starting to look into the network marketing or e-commerce or online affiliate marketing, all of these online platforms, you know, potential business models, the talent pool is growing because they're losing jobs and there's cutbacks. In order to take advantage of this, you need to be hustling right now and building your market to and making sure that you're blowing your message, not on a blowhorn as loud as you can on the place that everybody's hanging out. I think it's 25% of all marketing right now is happening on Facebook. So this is clearly the place you want to learn how to level up, learn how to do some skills, learn how to be consistent here, because you can make a fantastic business happen in 6 to 12 months. So for me, kind of understanding the lay of the land and realizing, like, learning some new skills, but really just implementing and taking action and getting over some personal challenges of myself, of limiting beliefs. You know, it's scary to go Facebook Live, scary to be a little bit more vulnerable, put yourself out there, scary to show up consistently on Facebook. You know, all those things as an entrepreneur, small business owner, you're going to have to get over that, because what's on the other side is massive potential. So in order to attract really great talent, you know, my suggestion is get serious about marketing your message, branding yourself right now, because people are going to be looking. And if they see you consistently over the next few months, guess who they're going to, you know, want to go ask, hey, what do you got going on?
When you talk about consistency, we'll get into that and we'll get a couple other things that I want to talk about. But what does consistency look like in social media? Should be posting every day, every week, once a month? What is it? What does consistency of you know, putting your message out there is, hey, we're open for business. We've got something special with this opportunity that we have. What does that look like for people who don't know what that might be?
I think that looks like for at least making a post every single day. Mm-hmm. I also use Instagram, so you can share the posts and stuff. So I like to be, I'm less active on Instagram, but so a post every day, ideally 2, and they can be different types of posts. Mm-hmm. I'd say 80% of your content is really about your lifestyle, your story, interesting things. You know, for me, I'm in the health and wellness industry and entrepreneurship, and I love meditation and yoga, spirituality. So I post interesting things about that. As a result, guys, I go look for people that are interested in those topics. You know, you're allowed 5,000 friends on Facebook. That literally they're saying we'll allow you to market to 5,000 friends. If you do it properly and work with the algorithm, you know, 10% of those people can see your posts. If you've got 100 friends, that means 10 people are going to see your post. If you have 5,000 friends, 500 people are going to see your post. And if you fill that up with people that are interested in the same things that I'm interested in, guess what? They're going to relate to my topic. So I'd say 80% of just posting about, things I'm really into, kind of letting people get to know, like, and trust me. And then 20% is I really let people know exactly the business or the problems that I'm solving with clear call to action. So people need to know that you're in business. People need to know that you're selling something that changes someone's life. Now, trying to sell products on Facebook is unattractive and people pass just, we all know that feeling. Don't sell products, don't sell a company. You have to be promoting yourself, but you weave in the things that you represent and how they work in your life. So people start to be like, hey, you know what? You create enough intrigue and people get to see it, but you got to let people know that you're in business. You got to let people know that you're open, right? I treat my Facebook profile as really my virtual online business store.
Right. Brilliantly said. So invariably, and this happens especially for new distributors, someone's going to reject you. Someone's going to condemn you. Someone might even attack you for making these choices. How do you address it? And what have you learned over what's frankly sometimes the things that scare people the most? Those components where people say, "Oh, you're doing that thing," or yeah, "Who do you think you are saying that?" or blah, 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 or "You're not as successful as I think you should be," or whatever. Can you share how you've learned to address and kind of jujitsu those moves where you actually you've kind of got this really great way of turning that energy, and you're very well spoken. But that wasn't always the case. You've been able to learn this skill, and how have you been able to do that? Because it's one of the things that I've noticed about you, which over the years has been truly, really incredible. And you're one of the best people I've ever seen at that. Can you share what you've learned?
Sure. I think number one is to expect it. If you expect something to happen, then you should prepare for how you're going to respond to that. So when I have a new person in my business, I say, look, expect these things to happen. And when they happen, don't be surprised by them. Just recall this conversation being like, oh, Kreel told me this was going to happen. Kreel told me that someone was going to say this is a scam. That this was like a false thing. Someone was going to make me feel bad about this decision. And then how to, move through that. At the end of the day, guys, people don't really have a clear understanding of what we're doing online, because if they did, they'd be doing it with us.
Beautifully said.
Because it makes more sense than what people are currently doing. So we, in a sense, we are threatening an entire mindset and way of doing business and lifestyle that is very much in opposition to the comfort of economics, large business, corporate culture, how things work, factory workers, all that stuff. We're literally reaching out to this massive group of people and saying, you know what, there's a better way to do this that allows you to get rid of these bosses that make you feel terrible, that don't treat you what you're worth, don't pay you what you're worth. You basically, for 48 hours a week, you give away your sovereignty so that you can be at the beck and call of somebody else. What we're doing here is completely in opposition to that. We're giving a person, an individual, the sovereignty over your own life, your health, your own wealth, and your lifestyle choices. We're saying, hey, this is scary, but it's a better way. And what you can create on this side of the fence absolutely blows away what's going to happen over there. So you're going to get backlash, because that's scary for some people, and it's just darn right threatening to other people, because if all of their employees left, then they don't have a business, or they don't have the control, right? You're either working for your own freedom or you're working to help somebody else get free, right? And that's what employees do for 40 hours a week for 40 years. Whereas when you get into direct selling, network marketing, and Enagic business, you become the boss, you become the CEO, and everything that's going to happen is going to be based on your skill set and your commitment, and then your action, right? The execution of those two things. And luckily, we've got a great leadership community. We've got a great company. We've got a proven track record. So we can show people exactly what to do that. So I kind of prep people along that. And I, as you can tell, I'm passionate about this. And for the new person, you got to be able to share the vision of what this could really be, the transformation in their life, because at the beginning, you don't really see it. There's something that attracted you, but you don't have that rock solid belief. So I think what I've learned is, I'm bulletproof on this because I know it works. And I've seen so many people have great success. And that when I'm working with somebody new, I just let them know this is what's going to happen. But the decision that you're making today is transformational in your life. For me, I can look back and say, hey, this is one of my top 5 decisions I'll make in my life, joining this business when people told me not to, but they don't pay my bills. They don't take care of my wife's needs. They don't build our place in Mexico. So if you're a dream and you've got a burning desire as an entrepreneur, you got to get into your own business, and doing it now with a changing economy and the online space, which is booming, and where Enagic is positioned, absolutely 100% makes total sense.
I think you bring up something that's really important, and for people to recognize is we've been taught a model that was taught to basically our parents, or if you're listening to this, maybe your grandparents. And that was in the 1940s. And, coming into the, as the baby boomers came to age, there was this thing called Social Security that was put together, and companies, big corporations that people used to work for would go work for the company for 30, 35, 40 years with that company. And they'd have a pension to fall back on. And if that didn't top up, they had a government pension to talk on, and they knew that they would be going to the retirement years with safety, security. So it made sense to dedicate their time and their lifestyle to that company, show up, do the commute, all of those things that, our parents and some of their parents did. But the reality is very few corporations, maybe the only corporations, are the governments that are actually providing that kind of service. If you have a government job and you're in a government institution, and they're going to do that. But that's probably the last bunch of people that are doing. In fact, President Obama actually said that in one of his speeches. He said, we're probably the only people that are going to benefit from the pension programs that we're telling everybody to go through. And I think that's shocking. You can check that. That's on one of the State of the Union addresses, by the way, for those who don't remember that. So I think it's people to have to understand is that the world's different. Companies rise and fall very quickly. The digital platform has changed the way we do business under these current conditions with the various lockdowns and the health challenges that are going globally, and who knows how much longer this is. Companies are now learning. If you drive down through any major street, you're seeing all these corporate buildings going empty. You're seeing commercial spaces go to lease. You're seeing people buying more and more online than they are offline. And Enagic is perfectly positioned in this new world because they've built the distribution model. They have a product that's good for I would say your health, good for your finances, and good for the environment. Why is it so important to kind of find your tribe, find your community? Like, you've created this community that you share not only the opportunity, but the insider information of how to go about and build a business, all the nuances of Enagic. Can you talk a little bit about what you've been able to create? If some people's thinking they want to build a community, or someone else there might be saying, hey, I've been watching these guys for a while, I'd like to join this community too. Can you share some of the things that you've learned to build?
Yeah, well, I think it's really understanding the problems that are happening in today's world and providing clear solutions to them. And so if you can, and 10 years ago, I made a clear decision being like, wow, Enagic solves major problems: water quality issues, healthcare issues, environmental sustainability issues, wealth issues. They've got a global business, massive infrastructure, a 100-year business plan. We're 45 years into it. Folks, it just doesn't get any better than this. And it's a high ticket opportunity. And for me, at the end of the day, I prefer to sell less things and make more money than having to sell a whole bunch of small things over and over and over again and basically be replacing customers. The business model is fantastic, and it builds residual income. So in my message to people, I really feel the only way to truly get free in today's world, and talking exactly what you were mentioning about Social Security and building for the future retirement, the only way that you're going to be able to retire is that if you're building your own residual retirement plan today. That means that you're going to, you're showing up to a business that you're putting productivity hours into, that you're building an asset, And that asset is going to continue to reward you after you start to tone down your productivity levels, which will naturally happen with aging and so forth. Whereas if you're in the Social Security world, I think the reality is people are retiring, trying to live off Social Security, which is, there's going to be big problems, 5-10 years down the road here. But it's just not enough money, right, to survive. So I think building communities today is about educating people on their options and letting people know, hey, you know what? There's a different plan. And that this plan can help you get healthy so that the best person in your life to take care of your health is always going to be yourself. No government agency will ever be able to dictate health the way that you can for your own self. So really make that a priority, and then control your own wealth, which then will lead to your own lifestyle. So that, at the Living Legacy Project, that's really our 3 tenets that we have built our community, our message, our brand around, and inviting people who are interested in maybe all 3 of those or maybe one of those aspects. So it's about building community, is about inviting your tribe in, but being really clear and like, hey, what does this tribe offer? What's the type of person that we're here to serve and have conversations and communicate to? And those are the 3 big areas that we've identified, most people want answers to, or at least options to consider. It's not, quit your 9-to-5 job and jump into this full time. No, it's more so like, hey, start a game plan on the side so that you are prepared if something was to shift drastically. The best time to look is when you still have options. The worst time to look is when, the options are really thinned out. So in building community, we really just wanted to support people to find what they're really looking for. And we found it's health, wealth, and freedom lifestyle.
And before we go, another thing I want to ask, and this is always the question, is what are some things that you shouldn't do when you get started in these things or start going on Facebook or else? Like, what are some things that, are probably not a good idea?
Probably not a good idea is, I wouldn't just go promoting the product, slamming it like, a week's worth of posts. And because if you don't get traction, then you're like, oh, this isn't going to work for me. And I'm like, well, it is going to work for you, but that strategy is not going to work for you. And so it's really, I think it's so valuable. Here's what I've learned, Wade, and I think you probably would agree with this. The level of success that I see people have in home business arena is really dependent on the level of training that they get. And if someone is not willing to do training, they're basically shot in the dark, hoping to get lucky. It can be really uncomfortable for them, and they can make it uncomfortable for other people. Whereas if someone is willing to go training, and I know the Prosperity Health Alliance, what we've done in the last few years, and then also with the Living Legacy Project, like I've got a step-by-step training system that we plug people in and say, look, before going crazy, learn some skills, get some comfort, understand what this process is all about. Here's how to market, right? Because most people aren't comfortable or have hesitations to making a list of 80 to 100 people and just starting to fire hose those people with information about a product and a company. That tactic is not that effective, right? So I would say don't do that. And what you want to do is start to ask some questions around your leadership and be like, hey, what's your marketing strategies? I love the company, I love the product. What do you guys offer me in regards to training, into marketing, so that I can make this leap into the online platform? And there's some leaders that are going to do that more than others, and some teams and so forth. So I think that is really key. Before taking massive action, get a little bit of training, then take massive action. Your results are going to be so much better.
Beautifully said. And of course, how do you see the future unfolding for you in the coming months and say the coming years with Enagic? What are you most excited about? What are you excited for people to be joining in with you right now at this critical juncture in, frankly, human history, and why the Enagic business makes so much sense?
Yeah, I think 2020 is, it's we're only just getting started, folks. It was the warm up was the warm up, right? I think there's a lot more to come down the pipeline. I think this is the year that really shakes the economy hard, and it really, if you've got that entrepreneurial spirit, now's the time to act on it, right? To get additional income streams happening in your life. what I'm really looking forward to is continuing to do what we've been doing and really just sharing the message of health, wealth, and lifestyle freedom, sharing the message that we have to offer with Enagic. I'm really excited, for, I think everybody needs goals in their businesses, and landmarks where you need to be hitting. So we're on the home stretch. When everyone gets into Enagic, and if you're looking at this for the first time or you've been into Enagic for a little while, then you'll know that there's a 6A2-3, which is about 1,000 to 1,500 sales, and the company will rank you up. It's really like the top senior rank, and the company will put you on a bit of a salary. There are some qualifications and so forth, but it's on average, it's about $5,000 a month based on qualifications and so forth. So, and that could be for the longevity of my existence with the company. Well, I think Enagic's going to outlive all of us. So I'm not worried about them going anywhere. So when I got into the business, I'm like, hey, you know what? That's where I want to be. And we've locked and loaded, and we're really clear, like we're going to hit that by December. And with that, it's just really a representation of the quality of leaders that we've been able to bring into the business, train properly, duplicate, so that they've been able to have really great businesses. We have numerous six-figure earners on our team, and being able to attract more and more people into this whole other wave, which is like this 2020, like new class of entrepreneurship and new Enagic distributor jumping into this online space with us. So I'm super excited to just keep learning, keep growing, keep inviting people into it, really being of service. For me, the reason I do this is because I feel like it's a win-win-win situation. Wins for the distributor or the customer because we have a great technology. It wins for the environment because we really solve some big environmental issues. And it wins for people's bank accounts, right? You can really create an incredible career and lifestyle doing it right here with Enagic. So I'm super excited to just keep locking arms with this company, keep locking arms with you, my team, people on my teams, the new people that are going to be joining, and continuing to work really harder than ever in my business because I'm more excited than ever. And I really feel like, hey, it's a good time to really lean into it because the future is very uncertain. So make haste while you can.
Beautifully said. And of course, for people who think that's not real, I've been lucky and fortunate enough to be working with people such as yourself, Krill, and all the team members in the Prosperity and Health Alliance and around the world. And, there's something really to be said when you're making a professional income. And when I mean a professional, the equivalent of a PhD or a doctor or a lawyer, someone who would spend 8 to 10 years to become that professional. But I'm getting that as my base before I even had my first cup of coffee every day. And I can tell you, when you've gotten to that place in your life, it's truly remarkable. And the only thing that I can think of every day when I get involved with Enagic or do this business or share the water, share a business model, share the environmental technology, is like, I can only hope that there's going to be another person that is going to grab this lock horns as you have, as some of our top leaders have done, and run with this, and not only change people's lives physically, but change people's lives financially and set them up to truly have the security that they're looking for. Not security that comes from the government, not security comes from a job. Security comes from your skills, your ability, and the product that you represent and the service that you provide for not just your local community, but for the global community. And it's just been an awesome partnership to work with you, Krill. I'm so lucky and so fortunate to work with you and your lovely wife. You guys are amazing. And what's really interesting is we probably wouldn't have ever met if it hadn't been from Enagic. We in a lot of senses, we live a completely different lifestyle. I like being involved in the city and, all the hustle and bustle. You like to be out in the country, but there's this common element that we both care about people. We both want to make a difference, and we both want to support our families. And I think it's really been great. And I want to thank you and your lovely wife for all the wonderful service, all the hard hours of dedication that you both have put into this, and to all the wonderful people that you've attracted to the project. It's been nothing but grace and gratitude for me to work with you. And I want to thank everybody. And I also want to encourage anyone who's out there thinking about Enagic, maybe you've been following Kreel, maybe you've been wondering what the Living Legacy Project is all about, or maybe you've been looking for something other than what you're currently doing because you're uncertain about what's going on. You're not sure if your job's going to be there. You're not sure if your business is going to work. Tune in with Kreel. Check out what this guy's doing. There is nobody in my entire organization that is more organized, that works harder, and that is put together a step-by-step process of training, education, and promotion like you have. And it's really remarkable, all the time, effort, and energy, and how easy you've made it for people to just really follow the steps, ABC, 1, 2, 3. And, you know, as someone that's been in the online space for 16 years, someone that's, you know, has a large team and has all the advantages that maybe a lot of people don't have, I can honestly say, you've built it from the ground up, brick by brick. You've made it simple. You made it easy. You've made it effective. And more importantly, you show up for your team. You're there to help them. You're there to help them close the sales, to handle the rejections, and to celebrate the victories. And I want to thank you for what you guys have done. And I'm so excited to see you walk across the stage this year. Grab that big, you know, pie in the sky rank bonus and the benefits that go along with it, and just doing a great job at Living Legacy. Thanks for joining us on Prosperity and Health Alliance. Can you share where people can find out more about your project, where they can get you, where they can connect with you if they want to know more information?
Perfect. You know, I really appreciate you too, Wade, for your friendship, mentorship over the years. It's great. You get into this, and you're right. We wouldn't have met up really if it wasn't for Enagic. But we saw something together and we decided, hey, you know, it's the cool thing about this business, guys, is, you know, if you're checking this out, it only takes a couple people, 2 people, to build you a legacy, right? And in Wade's organization, you know, there's Siha and myself, you know, that really locked arms with him and saw the vision. And then there's all these other leaders underneath us, but it's 2 people. And when I got into this business, I looked at the opportunity to work with Wade and everything that he brought to the plate, and I was excited by that. And so looking forward, what you had mentioned was, you know, when I hear you kind of say what you did, I really feel like it's a legacy, right? Mr. Oshiro has offered us really great opportunity to build a legacy. And when we called it the Living Legacy Project, it was about like building a legacy that you actually take advantage of today, because legacy can be something that you kind of leave behind when you're kind of older. Whereas this is an opportunity to build something today, and you get to enjoy it today. You get to enjoy it with your family. You get to be healthier with them. You get to affect so many other people in such a positive way, but really take advantage of while you're in it. And I think that is such a beautiful, rare opportunity. So if you want to know more about what we're up to, find me on Facebook. You know, and you'll see that we've got a group. You know, look out for Living Legacy Project if you want to come check it out. If you're exploring this for the first time, you can also find me on Instagram, just under Kreel. And I also have my YouTube channel, which for the last few years, and really I've focused a lot more in the last 12 months, I've been putting consistently business information, product information, company information on Enagic. It's called Kreel Hutchinson Living Hydration. If you're an Enagic distributor, you know, definitely subscribe to it, hit the bell notification. I'm always going to be teaching you something. And I just really feel like that's something I give back to the larger Enagic community, because not everybody has access to leaders that share all the information. So it's all there for you guys. So if you want to know more, find me on social media. Love to support you the best I can. And Wade, thank you so much for your friendship and your business partnership. I'm looking forward to the next 10 years with you.
Thank you so much, Krill. And for those who are listening to this on my own personal feed, and they love this interview and they want to get started with this opportunity, for the next brief time, basically over the next few months, I'm working directly with Krill and the Living Legacy Project to bring a select group of peoples to go through his customized business advancement training. This is not for tire kickers. This is not for the people who are thinking about something. People who are looking at, hey, I need to build a future. I need to build something for myself. I need to take that next step. I need to maybe go somewhere that might be a little bit uncomfortable and try something new. I've partnered up with Krill on this project. He's said, Wade, I want to take your best stars and work them through this project. And that's what we're doing to this. We've just had, some powerful people just joined in the last few weeks. They're going through the legacy project with you. They're loving this project, and I know you will too. So if you're out there, you want to find out more about it, you can private message me. You can connect with Kreel and the Living Legacy Project. But more importantly, take action. The time is now. The environment is chaotic, but we have an answer, we have a solution, and we have a pathway. And if you're ready to make that step, put the work in, roll up your sleeves, and do this, believe me, what you see as a crisis now will turn out to be the greatest opportunity of your life and really transform everything that's possible for you. And there's no better person to help you than Kreel Hutchinson and the Living Legacy Project. I want to thank everybody from the Prosperity and Health Alliance. Be sure to share this information, get it out there. If you're on one of the other teams, go out and build your community, go out and spread the message. We've got a message to transform people's lives physically, financially, make a difference in the environment, and most importantly, wake up every day knowing that you are contributing to the collective human community. That's what we love. That's what we're about. And we'll see you again next Monday night, same time, same station, 6 p.m., Facebook Live. You know what, Prosperity and Health Alliance, you got all the links, go to the webinar, all the Zoom, whatever you got to do, carrier pigeon, whatever it happens to be, Facebook, I don't care. Get on there. We'll see you next week. Love and light and compassion to each and every one of us. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for watching. My name is Kreel Hutchinson. If you like this content, subscribe to the channel. Head over to my website, livinghydration.ca, and grab your free PDF, The Ultimate Drinking Water Review. Cheers.